morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this June 26th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. I'm glad that you're here. I'm here in the studio alone today, and glad that you are here. If you have any, if you want to know where our content is and how to find our stuff, if you go to EOA.network, that takes you to a link tree where you can find all of the locations of our stuff. Glad that you're here. And be sure and comment. Here a little bit later on, I'm reading the Facebook comments, and I'll be talking about some stuff, and I'd love to have your feedback as we go along. So Kyle is down at Pioneer Park, the ballpark, and he's tuning in with us from there. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good morning. Good morning. It's another beautiful day down here. It's man, it's you can't ask for better weather for baseball and softball for reals.
Well, cool. How's it? So this is like the fourth or fifth day of that.
This is day 5,
Day
and
5.
and
Okay.
I was informed this morning. So originally it was going to go through Sunday, but now there's a game on Monday too. So
Oh my
it's
goodness.
going to end up being 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days total. Yeah. Pretty
Wow.
much everything wraps up on Sunday. There's one division that will have their championship game on Monday morning.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so do some of those teams, if they don't advance, are they like done by today? I mean,
Done.
whether
Yeah, all the teams that don't advance are done. That don't win the district, because you go from district to regional to state, or district to state to regional. Excuse me, and the winning team in each division will get to play in the state tournament, and those are located all around different towns of the state. You know, just like the districts are. And then if you win state, then you get to go to San Bernardino, which is like the big regional tournament.
huh? Well, good. Have you
Yeah,
heard?
yeah.
I mean, now that we have the Hampton Inn, have a few more hotel. Have you heard any feedback from
A
people
lot of
and
people aren't staying, believe it or not, because of the way the tournament's set up and the spaced out. It's really spaced out, and most of these teams are our district teams. So Pendleton, Blue Mountain, Union County, Wallowa, Baker. I would imagine like some of the Grant Union people are staying, but there was teams that had days in between games. So I haven't. Nobody's really talking about staying.
so then they're just looking at the schedule and go like, okay, well, we got a game on Thursday morning. We'll be back. Kind of,
Yeah, and then they'll go home and work for Wednesday if they played Tuesday. Yeah,
yeah, huh?
I have heard that. I heard a lady say, "How I'm going to go home and I'm going to work tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Thursday." Yeah,
Man,
it I don't like that idea. I mean, I think the idea of jamming all the games into like 4 or 5 days is better, just for the simple fact that then you generate economy.
right.
But at the same time, the baseball rules, I guess you can't have 2 games in one day. So it's a catch-22, and it's hard to schedule, that many teams in, and not violate Little League's rules. Little League has a lot of really like kind of piddly rules that just don't make a lot of sense, but at the same time, they're very player safety focused. So it's like anything that could put a kid in any, like they have to wear a helmet to go to the bathroom if they're playing. To go from the dugout to the bathroom, they have to wear a helmet. Like all the other kids out here running around, oh, if a foul ball hits them in the head, oh well. But the kid playing in the game has to wear. I mean, it's like, and that came from somebody going to the bathroom and getting doinked on the head.
Yeah, huh? You were the
Yeah,
other day. You mentioned a pitch count incident, and
yeah.
so what is that number? And it's up to the coach to pull the kid when they
It
get to that count, or what's the deal? Yeah.
so the number is different for every age. The age that we were talking about is 13, so juniors, and the maximum pitches you can throw in a day is 95. So you can end up throwing more than 95, because once you hit 95, you can declare last batter and you can finish that batter out. Well, what had happened was the coach kept asking, what the pitch count is, and there's an official pitch count. I volunteered yesterday and kept the pitch count for a game, and there's somebody sitting there marking down every single pitch, and the coach was checking the whole game, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I think it was like the 6th inning or the 7th inning, it was late in the game, the person counting the pitches says he's over the pitch count. He's at 98 right now. And the coach had not declared last batter. So according to the rule book, that is a decision that has to be made right then and there. What's going to happen? You get suspended for the rest of that game and the next game as the coach. And then they reverted it back to where the 95th pitch hit, and they restarted the game from there essentially.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and those pitch counts are just to preserve kids' arms. I mean, they didn't have those when I was a kid. Like, you threw until your arm fell off, basically, when I was a kid. But it is a really good idea. There's a lot of people nowadays with arm injury, just burning their arms out at a really young age. Because I mean, they used to say, like, it's okay to do this at a certain age, throw a curveball. Well, all that's changed now. I mean, like my son, he graduated last year, and he didn't even throw a curveball until he was in high school. I was throwing a curveball when I was like 9 years old. But I was just one of the fortunate ones. I never had any arm problems at all, and I was overused. Started throwing a curveball at 9, and I guess I got good genes when it comes to arm staying together.
Huh.
But there are kids that completely wear out their arms by like 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
it's
uh,
quite interesting.
yeah. So, and are there are there warm? I mean, I guess it depends on each kid, but at 95 pitches, they're pretty well done. I mean, is that a good number for?
That is a good number, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, in the major leagues, you see a lot of pitching coaches pull their guys right around 100
Huh.
and their starter, and regardless of how well they're doing.
Huh.
And that's just the scientific number where, it's the right in the range to where you're not overdoing it and you're not underdoing it. And these kids are 13, so they're a lot of them, are just hitting puberty, and their arms aren't fully developed yet. So, and it goes down, but each age group it goes down like 10, 15 pitches. So, like, say 12U maybe be like 75 or 85.
Okay.
8, 9, 10 might be 75 or 65.
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers exactly, but the younger they are, the less pitches they can throw in a day. And then if you go over a certain amount of pitches, you have to have a certain amount of time rest. So I think it's like if you throw over 35 pitches, you have to have a day's rest. If you throw over 55, and these aren't the exact numbers, this is just
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
example. If you throw over 55 pitches, you have to have 2 days rest. If you throw over, 75 pitches, you have to have 3 days rest. And if you
Yeah.
hit the threshold 95, then you're most likely done for the tournament, I think,
Oh, wow.
unless
Wow.
it's a real long tournament.
Yeah. All
So they're
righty.
very meticulous and careful about how many pitches these kids are throwing, and it's a strategic thing too. It's like playing chess almost. You have to decide: am I going to show my big gun? Am I going to throw him the first game, or
Right.
am I going to try to piece it together? Am I going to throw my big gun for 20 pitches the first game and then save him so we have him for later in the tournament? Yeah, softball not the same. Softball only has uh, the only rule for softball is an innings in a day rule. So they can only throw 6 innings in a day, and they don't count the pitches for softball because it's a natural body movement to throw underarm, and it doesn't have the same wear and tear on your arm as throwing overarm.
Huh. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. Well, hey, do you want to do sports?
yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Get down there and check them out. They got flex steel recliners, everything American made. The Daggett family does a great job. They're always involved in everything. volunteering. I mean, I've seen Sean down here volunteering all week, and it's just a great thing. Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Big Red Rocking Chair on Elm, off Adams in LaGrange. So yeah, I'm down here, Pioneer Park. It's a beautiful day, and I was gonna have Maya Atkins on this morning. She's the president of Little League, but she's had a really hectic morning, and so I got the second best thing to Maya. I went over to the Optimus snack bar, and I was like, one of you guys is coming on this morning, come on. And so I'm gonna be joined right now by Joel Hassey from Optimus, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what Optimus does and their role in this tournament. Come on.
Morning,
Come,
Brent.
come right up here and
Hey,
get.
hey.
Come on, closer. There you go. Yeah, so I got Joel Hassey here with me today, and he's going to talk a little bit about Optimus. Joel, so I guess the first question is let's talk about you really fast. How did you get involved in Optimus?
I played football for him in the 7th grade.
So did
Optimus
I.
Club got started when I was in the 6th grade. So when I went up into the 7th grade, played in the second year of Optimus football back in about 1969.
1939?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
1969. Okay, and you.
Well, then I went to work, and one of the guys, I can't remember his name, worked at one of the banks, caught me one day when I was in putting money in the bank, and he said, "Hey, why don't you belong to the Optimus Club?" And I joined. Next thing I know, I was vice president, and then the president quit, and I was president within about a year.
And then you've been involved.
And I've been involved ever since.
So you want to know a funny story about Joel? He says in 7th grade that he played football, Optimus football. He was my 7th grade Optimus football coach, and he played as well. Yeah. So another question for you, Joel. What about so? How many years would you say it's been? Uh, how old were you when you joined? Like, how many years do you have under the hood?
Let's see now. About 80, early 80s, I think I was president. So what's that make it?
35,
35, 40,
35 plus
45. Yeah, probably 45.
What's Optimus doing down here? Like, what do we got going on?
Well, we're raising money for the kids.
Yeah.
We last year we raised about $14,000, and it all goes back to different events for the kids. We give quite a bit to the high school for their events, track team, band, the jury. I'm sorry, missing a word here, but the trial jury.
FBLA.
Yeah, and FBLA and all those different groups. We give to Little League. We give to just whatever the kids need, and we put a lot of money into this park, and the different improvements in Optimus Field and the Doug Trice Field both, and yeah, we've done some stuff out in the valley. We've helped Union when they put in their sports complex. We helped Embler way back when. Actually, Wallowa Valley, the whole county at one time didn't have a 7th grade football program, so we took equipment up to them and got them started and brought football down into that age group and
How's this tournament gone so far? Like, are you guys making money?
yeah, it is. It's been really busy. I think it's been good for everybody.
Yeah.
We've had a really good day yesterday. So yeah. But it's tiring. We were at 13 and a half hours yesterday.
Well, and you guys have had a little bit of trouble finding people to
Yes.
cover everything because it's all day long, and you're running two different
Yeah.
stations, yeah.
Yeah. We've got our new concession stand that we built 2 years ago, or about actually came online during COVID, I guess. So that was a little bit longer than that. But we were running it all day yesterday, and it's got the deep fat fryer, and it's got the whole kitchen, the dishwasher, and all that stuff in it. And then we brought our trailer down that we use at the football field, and it does more. It's got a grill in it and does hamburgers and that sort of stuff, just to kind of help take the pressure off the concession stand, so that we can get people in and out. They don't have to stand in line all day.
Yeah. What's the best selling item?
Well, it's between cheeseburgers and chicken strip. We do a chicken strip basket, and it's done really well.
I see.
And it's really good.
So I put all my gear in the snack bar when the high school room is not open, and I see what's going on in there, and they're busy all the time. It's crazy. Like there's even during the dead time, there's somebody at that window,
Yeah.
and you got players and parents coming in and helping and volunteering. Talk a little bit about what EOU did.
EOU's been really good for us. We knew we were going to be short on help, so Ron, who's the food manager up at the Eastern, brought down some of his people, and they've been doing some cooking for us. And yeah, they've been great help, been helping us with supplies because it takes a lot of food. I mean, we made a trip the other day and we bought 10 cases, 30 to the case. So it's 300 hamburgers, and they're probably three-quarters of them gone.
Wow.
Wow. And that was just yesterday, right?
Yesterday and the day before. Yeah.
Yeah, in the
The
day
afternoon.
before. So the role that Optimist plays in the community is vital in my eyes. You know, donating money to the kids with Little League, is it like like, are you guys just partners? Like how does that work?
I'm not even 100. I hate to admit this,
It's
but I'm
all
not
right.
100% sure. We've always fed Little League basically whatever they needed. They came to us. They've got a good, fairly decent revenue stream, but once in a while they'll hit something like a couple of years ago they needed portable pitching mounts, and they were like $8,000 or something like that. And so we helped them out with that and put the pitching mounds in. We put a ton of money in this field over here to try to get it up so that it'll take the weather. This is Sam Markham,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
put
yeah.
red. They call it red dirt, or it's a I don't know where, but we've ordered I think we put 2 or 3 truckloads of material on that field. We've done a lot of work on that to try to get it up, and then we've helped with Willow. They need, we had to go down and do some work on Greenwood one year because the field had went totally away, and we did the field at Nazarene Church. We helped them with that one year. So yeah, we have a good relationship with Little League.
Good,
It's worked out well.
good. Last thing, if somebody was interested in becoming what
Best.
do you call it? An optimister?
I, well, that's a good question. Maybe a fool.
An optimist?
I think sometimes. We have a web page. It's just lgoptimist.org, and that's probably the best way. We try to keep that up to date. Our meetings lately have been kind of moving around because our president's been kind of changing jobs and moving around a little bit. We used to always meet Tuesday noons. Then we went to Friday evenings, and that didn't work. So now I think we're doing Monday evenings twice a month. But the best way is just go look at the webpage, and then we meet. Just
OptimistLG.org.
it's lgoptimist.org. So LeGrand Optimist, just LG Optimist.
LGoptimist.org.
If you put in LeGrand Optimist in Google, it'll pull us up pretty much.
Awesome.
We've got a fairly decent webpage, and yeah, that'll probably be the best way to get a hold of us.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey, thank you,
Yeah,
Joe.
Joel Hassey with Optimist. He 35 plus years of donating time and resources to the youth of Union County, and Optimist has been around even longer than that, but that's just him personally. That's remarkable. Like I said, he was my 7th grade football coach, and when I played for Optimist football, and so I mean that if you think about that, that was 1993. So that's 35 years ago. Yeah. Actually, so he's 45 years in. Yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Go check out the Daggett family. They like I said, they do a lot for this community, including sponsor this show. And that's how you guys get this information and get to see this stuff is they help fund that. So go support them.
Good stuff. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some pictures and volunteer.
All right. Hey, thanks.
All
Thanks
right,
for.
we'll see you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Cool. All right. Well, let's take a look outside. It's beautiful. It looks like it's going to be another gorgeous day. Let's take a look at that graphic, Bennett. So 82 today, 54 seems almost perfect. So tomorrow it's going to be 78, high 78, and there's no rain in the foreseeable future on this particular weather graphic. Looks like it's going to get on Monday and Tuesday up into the 90s, a little bit warmer. Monday 96, so almost 100 degrees. So that's kind of out there for us, but no rain right now, which is, I guess, fun for playing in the sun, but not necessarily great for our farmers out there. I always think about them as we're have a look at these weather forecasts. Is like, is the weather going to be conducive to keeping their crops alive and a good healthy crop? So, all right. Well, hey, we're going to take a break and I'll be right back with you. All right, we're back. I'm back. Thank you for being with me today. As you just saw, Kyle's down at the baseball field for the rest of the day, helping with the district Little League tournament that's going on. It looks like it's going to be going on through Monday. So, hey, I'm glad you're here. I got the comments open. I'd love to have you pipe into whatever it is that I'm going to talk to you about here for a couple minutes. The other day I talked to you a little bit about entitlement and how that's an attitude that is just, it's easy, especially as you get older, it's easier to kind of go in that direction. Somebody had said, well, you kind of need to explain what entitlement is. And entitlement is this attitude of, I paid my dues, I don't need to work hard. So it's like, I don't know. It's like I paid my taxes, and I mean here's kind of an entitlement attitude a little bit, and I understand, you know, sometimes people and particularly older people are not in favor of school bonds, okay, because they don't have kids anymore, and so then they don't have children that are in the local schools, and so they. I don't know. In my opinion, they're sometimes a little bit short-sighted. They don't understand, you know. And part of that, we've had George Mendoza on the show a bunch of times, and you know, on that specific issue, people often do not understand that the state does not provide money for buildings and that kind of thing, but that money needs to be raised locally in some manner, and that's what bonds are for. But point being is that entitlement attitude. It's just something that creeps in, and it's easy. It's because of my status, because of who I am, I shouldn't have to do this, whatever it might be, you know. And, you know, because I'm the owner of the business, somebody else should empty the garbage cans. That would be kind of an entitlement attitude. And, you know, the problem is that I still empty the garbage cans. Everybody should be willing to, especially if you're a leader, if you're in a leadership position and you have people that are following you and you're teaching them, you know, one of the best leading examples that people can give is if they're willing to, if you have a leader, if they're willing to do the crap jobs also. But that entitlement thing is something that's kind of easy to fall into. So, but I have another rant today. It's kind of a mini rant, and it's about bicycles and bicycle lanes, okay? And, you know, you might not know it. Over the course of the last 15 years as I've been involved in city government and you know, understand more about roads and so on and so forth, you have to understand that there is a lot of money that goes in to providing bicycle lanes. And like I live out in Island City, and so then every day I'm taking that Island City Avenue drive all the way to Island City, and there is a bike lane that entire way. The rant is that the bikes don't use that. They use the sidewalks, and that's kind of my rant, is that all of this expense I mean, you cannot imagine the amount of money that it takes to plan to put a bike lane in. Okay, so 20th Street, that's the street that goes by Bimart and goes out to Geckler, past the Nazarene Church field, past the drive-in, that street. Okay, that street was constructed a number of years ago, and most of the funds for that particular street, or a lot of the funds, came from grant funding or state funding that Kyle Carpenter had gone after, and his predecessor had gone after to help fund that. Well, the amount of money that it takes to do a bike lane like that, and Geckler has one too, all of that is very expensive. And it's a lot of planning. And like in the case of 20th Street, there's a bike lane there and the cars are not supposed to park there, but the bikes are for the bike lane, but nobody uses the bike lane. And I guess part of that I think is the bikers, they feel safer if they're on the sidewalk. But just one thing I'm noticing is that the electric bikes, which are essentially a motorcycle, in my opinion, they are able to go at the same speed as a motorcycle, but they are often on bikes, on the sidewalks rather than on the bike trail. And so anyhow, there's those two things are not together. I wish that the people spending money and planning on the bike lanes would have some kind of a concept of whether they're actually going to be used or not. Now, you may or may not know that in downtown LeGrand on Adams Avenue, you can get ticketed for riding your bike on the sidewalk during the day. And there's a reason for that, is because the sidewalks are for pedestrians. They're not for bicycles. And, and especially during the day, in the historical downtown area, you're kind of wanting to create a meandering atmosphere for people to be downtown and to shop and to do whatever it is they're going to do. And bicycles or pedestrians dodging bicycles is not conducive to that. So I don't know, just a little bit. I guess if there's a rant, it would be, if you're a bicyclist, then would you consider using a bike lane? I mean, rather than the sidewalk? That's what they're for. A lot of bicyclists will go against traffic, which also is, I understand why they do that. When I ride a bike and I have a mirror on my bike and I'm riding with the traffic and I'm continually looking and watching that mirror so that to be aware if somebody is going to run me over. And so I understand why people will go against the traffic, but it's sure confusing. Not too long ago, I was going down Island Avenue, and I was going towards Island City, going down Island Avenue, and was going to turn into Walmart, and there was a bicyclist who was going against traffic in the bike lane, and he's coming into the turnoff as I'm getting ready to turn, and he looks at me with an attitude of entitlement, like, what are you doing? I'm in the bike lane. And I looked at him like, you idiot, you're going the wrong way in a bike lane. I'm looking, as I'm making, any conscientious person is, if you're making a right-hand turn, you're looking in your right-hand mirror to make sure you're not cutting off a bicyclist or somebody else that might be trying to pass you on the wrong side of the road. And so that's where I'm looking for him, not somebody coming towards me. Anyhow, I think that the thing that people forget is they get in their own little envelope and they forget about what other people are thinking. I have a friend who says that, that the greatest prevention of accidents is being predictable. So if as you're driving, the behavior of the other drivers should be predictable. Because if somebody is passing you, this is what they're going to do. If somebody is turning in front of you, or they're turning, if they're in front of you and they're making a turn, their behavior is predictable. Accidents happen when people are not predictable. And so that pattern of you operating, whether you're driving or you're riding a bike, you should naturally be thinking of, this is what people are expecting me to do, And this is the reason that is because that's how we operate and function. So anyhow, just a little bit of a thought for you to think about. If you are a bicyclist, be predictable. Be in the lane where you are, and particularly if you're on a sidewalk where there are pedestrians, just know that the sidewalk wasn't built for you. It was built for the pedestrians. Anyhow, that's my 2 cents. So, all right, before I quit, I just want to mention a couple of events that are happening out there. First of all, Buffalo Thunder at the Peak is coming up, and here's a little bit of video for that. All right, so you saw Thunder at the Peak. This is the 4th of July. The events, the food trucks that'll be downtown, the thing that's happening in Union is really beginning around 5 o'clock, and there'll be food vendors downtown like normal. There's a cornhole tournament that's going to begin up at the Thunder at the Peak, up at the golf course parking lot. And then the fireworks will go off at dusk. Those fireworks will be streamed on our network here, just like they have for the last several years. So the other thing I want to make you aware of is the Embler Parade. And that they have a number of events, a fun run that's going to be at 9 a.m. and you can see when to register for that. And then also the parade, which begins at 11. Anybody can be in the parade. I mean, if you have a business and you want to be a part of that parade, you just have to be at the school parking lot, and they're going to be organizing starting that at 11. So anybody, you don't have to fill out anything. Just show up at the school parking lot at 11. Tell them that you want to be in the parade, and you can be in the parade. And we will be streaming that event also for the first time this year. And we're looking forward to that. Robin Church has been the one that's been kind of tapping on my shoulder. Robin Church was the Union County clerk for a number of years and is a good friend of mine, and she's been reminding me about that. So we're excited about that, to be able to bring that to you. That parade's been going on for a long time. You know, just a comment about Embler. I drove back and forth through there twice yesterday, and you know, their streetscape is just so beautiful. Their flowers that are hanging, you know, on all the way down Main Street. That little town has just done a really good job at beautifying themselves. They have a lot to be proud of, and that school system out there is remarkable. As many of you know, they built the new track, you know, that's been like a 2-year project, and I think they're still working on doing things here and there, but there's a lot going on in the leadership of Embler, and really proud of them. They have done really well for themselves. All right. So, hey, that's it for today. We will be back with you Tuesday with a regular show. Kyle will be right back here in the studio beside me, and glad that you guys are here with us. Hey, thanks for commenting. Robin said, "Hey, Brent," and good to see you, Steve. Glad that you guys are here and supportive of EOA Live. Be sure and pass the word. You know, the businesses that we talk about here, that advertise, that are part of the sports show, that's what pays for the lights and the gear and all of the stuff that makes this things kind of happen. We love giving, and we love doing what it is that we do for Eastern Oregon, but it costs money. And so we really appreciate those of you that take advantage of our services. And there's a wide range. We can produce a video for you of any kind on the Brent Clapp production sides. And then we can also get that video out to any place that you want it through, not only through the EOA Live platform, but also through social media marketing. Give us the opportunity to help you do that. We'd love to help you penetrate maybe a market that you have not been able to penetrate. So, all right, thanks a bunch. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week.